Hey guys, welcome back to the show, the RR Show, which is, as you know, the best show on the internet. My name's Bert, and today I have a lovely selection of stories from r/IDontWorkHereLady, so grab you some tea and popcorn and let's go hunt some Karens. Our first story is from Anonymous, called Gotta Love the Hospitality Industry. I'm in restaurant management, and I've been in the industry for almost 12 years. I am very comfortable in the workplace and walk pretty confidently. I'm also very aware of my surroundings, having been burned, run into, dropped things, you name it. If you know the industry, we call corner, behind, stick out our arms to let people pass, you know the drill. Anyways, we're on a road trip and driving through a sleepy town and it was getting late. The only thing in town open is Red Lobster. So we go in. It was packed. After we order, I get up to use the restroom. I pass a server with a very full tray and she looked like she was struggling. And I stuck out my arm to let her through and I said, "You good, girl?" She laughed and said she was fine. I come out of the restroom and as I'm walking back to the table, this older woman grabs my arm hard and starts screaming about their lack of cheddar biscuits. Total Karen, super aggro. I pull my arm away and say, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but I don't work here." Kinda chuckling to ease the tension. She proceeds to get angrier. "I saw you help that girl. I know you're the manager. How rude of you to ignore a valued customer." I just laughed and walked away. I walked up to the host stand and told the host about what happened just in case the server got shat on. He asked which table and I casually pointed to it. His response had me on the floor laughing. He rolled his eyes so hard, shaking his head and says, "Motherfucking Ethel. I'm sorry. She is probably the most evil person on the planet, but her family owns like half the town. Unfortunately, we're at her fucking mercy." A few minutes later, the manager comes over to our table super apologetic and says he'll comp our meal. I told him absolutely not. I do the same job and have dealt with the same shit day in and day out. Next up from Kazakh Fairwind, "You want to call my manager? Okay, call him." This happened over a year ago at a Walmart. For some context, on my days off, I typically wear a blue Dickies work shirt whenever I go out. It has pins and patches all over it. A sort of battle vest, if you will. This fact means that more than once I have been mistaken as a Walmart employee, which I normally just brush off. But this dude took it to a whole nother level. So I go to Walmart to drop my car off for an oil change. I decide that I'll walk through the store since it was hot out, then across the parking lot to a fast food joint for lunch. As I'm walking down one of the aisles, I hear a grumpy, "Sir?" from the other side over a pallet of products. I just sort of ignore it and keep walking. You know, a quick look at me should tell you that I don't work here. But this guy walked around the pallets and gets right in front of me, all while yelling, "Sir," at me. I stop because now he's right in front of me and pop out one of my earbuds, to which this guy starts going off on me. "Are you going to fucking help a customer or just fucking ignore me? You shouldn't have your hat or fucking headphones on at work." He yells, yells, yells. I just roll my eyes and say, "That was rude, but no, I won't help you." I then gesture at my lack of Walmart name badge and all the pins and patches on my shirt, trying to imply that, again, I don't work here. "Well, I want to speak to your manager. You shouldn't treat customers like this." I start to pull my phone out and scroll through my contact list till I find my manager. Mind you, my manager at the time was a grumpy old man from Tennessee who would take zero shit from anyone. Had this guy called my manager, he would have had his ass verbally handed him so hard that he wouldn't know what hit him. "You want to speak to my manager? Okay, but he's gonna tell you the same thing I'm about to tell you. Fuck off. Don't yell at anyone like that." Dude is now getting more angry as I show him my manager's number. "Go ahead, call him. Tell him I didn't help you out. You know, I don't work here and it's my day off. You shouldn't be treating people who don't work at the store like this." The guy just mumbled something, then pushed past me and walked away, having never called my manager. Next time I was at work, I told my manager this story and he got a good laugh out of it, saying he would have loved it if that guy had called him. Our next story is from user No Language, and it's titled, "I Guess I Volunteered." I have to get some regular medications from the pharmacy, which involves using a script and waiting for the pharmacist to sort it out. Usually this will take about half an hour just because the pharmacy is always busy with other people's stuff as well. I also have to take hay fever medication every day, and because I have to cycle through them, some work better at different times of the year. I generally know a bit about the ones they have in stock at the pharmacy. The waiting area for prescription meds just so happens to be in front of the hay fever medication. So, I'm naturally an introverted person and will often avoid unnecessary social interaction. Hey bud, me too. But I also like to be helpful where I can, especially if someone looks confused. This is one of those times, but it kinda dominoed on me. So it was about 10 minutes into my wait when a 20-something-year-old man was looking at the hay fever medication with sheer bewilderment on his face. After a couple minutes of his indecision, I stepped in to offer my help. I said, "You seem lost. What are you after?" He said, just something for a runny nose?" I said, "Is it an all-the-time thing or just occasionally?" He goes, "It's just on and off." Then I say, "I would recommend the Telfast since it's the cheapest and works best for snot." He looked at it for a couple seconds, shrugged, and then went on his way reading the box. I thought it was a job well done and went back to waiting. Or so I thought. A second later, I get a hesitant tap 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 on the shoulder. A 20-something-year-old lady says, "Excuse me, do you know which one I should use for everyday use?" I say, "Well, it depends on what symptoms you're trying to get rid of, snot, cough, sneezing, or itchiness." She goes, I guess mostly itchiness, but occasionally a cough." Then I say, "You can go with either Zyrtec or Nasonex. If it's mostly itchiness, I would recommend Nasonex as it works best for me. But if you don't like nasal spray, Zyrtec does well." She goes, "I think I'll go with the Zyrtec. I've not done a nasal spray before. Thank you." Not a problem. Looking around, I see a couple looking hopeful in my direction. With an internal sigh, I ask if they need some help. The couple says, "You wouldn't happen to know where baby formula is?" I say, not exactly. However, the baby stuff I have seen is in aisle 4. I think it would be about halfway down since I know those are tins of some sort, right? I haven't paid any attention to what's in those tins though, sorry. The couple says, "Oh, okay, we'll start there, thank you." And off they went. At this point, I didn't see anyone else looking like they were waiting for help, so I thought I was free to go about my own business. You know, waiting. Then there was this elderly lady who snuck up behind me like a ninja. "Excuse me, sir, do you know where they keep the hay fever eye drops? I couldn't see them with any of the other hay fever stuff, and I thought I heard you helping other people, so..." I say, "Of course, they keep it in the eye aisle," which is fun to say, by the way. "Do you need it for itchiness or dryness?" The ninja lady says, Mostly for dryness, I guess. I never really thought about it." I say, "Okay, I would recommend this one." I grab the blue package Visine. It has a mild active ingredient for general allergies, but it's focused on lubricating rather than hay fever. Or you can just get the stronger one, and I point to the red bottle, but I find it can dry the eyes a bit. The ninja says, "Thank you so much. You know, you're the only person that's been of any help in this store. You should put in an application and then ask for a raise." And off she went wandering into the shadows, chuckling at her own humor. Getting back to my waiting spot, I look at the clock and it's been only about 20 minutes into my expected half hour of wait, so I settle back in. The pharmacist calls me up and says, "What's your name?" I respond, "Oh, it's redacted." The pharmacist says, "Okay, give me a minute." And he rifles through his papers for a second and then grabs my stuff. "Thanks for helping. Here you go." "Oh, thanks. I wasn't expecting you to push me to the front of the queue." "And I wasn't expecting you to help half the customers in the store." And with that, I took my drugs and went home with a spent social battery. I know it's not a typical story you see on here, but I think it fits. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Until I see you in the next one, take care.